Hello, and welcome to this how-to all about how to strengthen the hips. All the muscles around our hips, our glutes, our hip flexors, our inner and outer thighs, have the potential to be really powerful supporters for our whole body, especially our hip joints, our lower back, and our knees. And they have the potential to be really powerful movers for our whole body, giving us the kind of strength that we need to run or jump or kick. But if we're spending most of our day sitting, or if we're only moving our hips in one direction, like when we're walking, we can start to develop imbalances in this area, which can then lead to injury. And so today I'm going to be guiding you through a wide variety of exercises to strengthen all the muscles around the hips, creating more muscle tone, more energy, and more balance in this very important center of our power. Now, everything I'm going to be guiding you through today should be safe and accessible for almost everyone. However, as always, I want to remind you to listen to your body as we're moving through the exercises, to respect and honor your physical history and needs, and to feel free to make any modifications at any time that feel right for you. Now, before we get started, I just want to let you know that this tutorial pairs very well with another one in my how-to series called How to Open the Hips. And in that one, I guide you through a wide variety of stretches for all of these same muscles. And so together, these two practices create a really beautiful balance of length and strength, of power and surrender, and energy and ease. And so with all of that said, let's get to it. All right, so this first set of exercises is all about strengthening the glutes, the hamstrings in the back of the thighs, and the inner thighs. And it's going to be done lying down. And so all that you need to have is a cushion or a pillow to place in between your knees. And if there's anything that you'd like to have underneath your head or your neck to make you feel more comfortable when you're lying down, to have that as well. And we're going to be doing bridges. And this involves a pelvic tilt and engaging your pelvic floor. Now, I'm not going to go into pelvic floor technique at all in this tutorial because it's a big topic, but I'm bringing it up because I do have a separate tutorial called How to Connect to Your Pelvic Floor that I think is great for everyone. It's packed with lots of information, and so I strongly recommend that. And I do have another how-to called How to Pelvic Tilt, and it also goes into a lot of detail about how to do that well. And so I recommend those. And the last thing that I'll say before we get started is that sometimes when we're doing the bridges, the muscles in the back of the legs can cramp. And so if that happens, I suggest that you lift your hips not as high. And it can also be very helpful to place the feet or the legs up on top of a chair or a sofa. And that can be very helpful, especially if the legs are straight. Okay, so just keep those options in mind as we're moving through everything. Okay, so we'll get started. I'll get you to come to lying down. If you can have your feet hip distance apart, your knees pointing straight up to the ceiling, make sure that your head and neck feel comfortable. And if you can place the pillow in between the knees. Okay, and we're going to start off with the pelvis in its neutral position where the hip bones and the pubic bone are level, and there's just a slight curvature of the lower back off of the floor. And it's great if you can keep your hands onto your hip bones throughout this whole series so that you can really feel what's going on here. Okay, we're going to take a deep breath in to prepare. And as you breathe out, I want you to tilt the pelvis, to curl the tailbone just an inch off the floor. The lower back flattens, and we're going to hug the inner thighs, hugging into the pillow. And just stay here for a moment. Now, this hugging feeling is really important. I'm going to bring it up a lot through this whole video because I want the muscles to have good tone, but I don't want them to clench or grip. And so if you can think that the muscles are hugging, they're hugging the pillow, they're hugging the bones, but they're not gripping or clenching because that can create too much tension and restriction and not really good tone, the kind that we want. Okay, so we're here in the tilt. And then as you breathe out, we're going to curl the hips up and come up into the bridge position to a maximum where you have a straight line between your shoulders and your knees. You could be a little bit lower, but not to go any higher so that your weight is spread out just nicely across your shoulder blades. And then just staying here, make sure that you've kept the tilt, that there's a feeling of lengthening your tailbone past your knees so that your lower back is lengthened and you can feel the abdominal muscles drawn in. Okay, we're going to hold here, take a deep breath in, and then breathe out as you curl back down through your spine. And at the bottom, just relax the tilt completely. You can relax all of the muscles here. And we're going to do that again. Breathe in to prepare. Breathe out as you curl the tailbone off, tilting the pelvis. Hug the inner thighs, hugging the pillow, and curl the hips up and hold. Okay, coming up to that straight line or a little bit lower. And then if you can stay here and just bring your hands onto your glutes. And I want you to feel the difference between good tone and clenching. Okay, so let's start off feeling the clench. If you can squeeze the muscles as tight as you can, and you should feel it squeezes the tailbone. And we never want to do this. It can really pinch the nerves and the blood vessels that travel down the legs. So we don't want to do that. And it just creates too much tightness around our tailbone, around our hips. So just relax the muscles a little bit. And even when you feel them relaxing, you should just still be able to notice there's good muscle tone here. The muscles are working, but they're not gripping. Okay, so this is an important difference. Okay, so we're going to breathe in to stay. And breathe out as you curl back down, one vertebra at a time, and then just relax the hips. And again, breathe in to prepare. Breathe out as you tilt the pelvis, hug the pillow in the inner thighs, and roll up. Okay, from here, we're going to start to move a little bit faster. We'll inhale as you lower the hips halfway, and exhale as you lift. And then just continue. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Okay, just go at your own breath pace, inhaling down and exhaling up. And just feeling when you reach the top, you're coming up to that straight line as a maximum. You're pressing your feet down into the ground and lengthening your tailbone past your knees, that there's no need to grip or to clench these muscles, but just to feel a bit of hugging muscle tone. Okay, we'll do one more. And then breathing in to hold and breathing out to roll back down. And just shake your hips out just in case any tension accumulated there. And then we're going to take the pillow out. You can put it off to the side. And we're going to move on to the next advanced version. Okay, so stay with this, with what we're doing. Again, you can have your legs resting up onto a chair or to a sofa if the legs are cramping in the back, okay? But otherwise, I'll show you the next stage. We're going to breathe in to prepare. Breathe out as you tilt the pelvis. Hug the inner thighs as though the pillow is there, and then curl the hips up. Okay, we come into our straight line maximum. And from here, we're going to inhale as you lower the hips halfway. Exhale as they lift and float one leg off the floor, just keeping it bent. And then we lower it down. Inhale, lower halfway. Exhale, lift, float the other leg. And we're going to go from side to side. Inhaling, lower the hips. Exhaling, lift, float the leg. Inhaling, land and lower. Exhaling, lift, float the other leg. And continue breathing in as you're going down, breathing out as you're coming up. Okay, and with the hands on the hip bones, you want to sense that the hips are staying level, that you're not letting them tilt unevenly, so we're working the glutes properly. We're just going to do one more to each side. Inhaling to lower down, exhaling to lift back up. Okay, and then breathe in as you land both feet down. Breathe out as you roll down. Okay, shake out the hips. Okay, and so again, you can stay with that, or I'll show you the final version. We're going to be staying on one leg. So it's going to be really working the supporting side in the glutes, in the hamstrings. Okay, and so breathing in to prepare. Breathing out as you tilt the pelvis, hug the inner thighs, and curl the hips up. And staying here, we'll bring one leg up, floating the leg up, just making sure the hip bones are level. Inhaling, lower the hips halfway. Exhaling to lift. Inhaling to lower. Exhaling to lift. And continue, just going at your own breath pace, feeling that you're keeping your hips level, that you're breathing out as you're coming up. The inner thighs are staying hugged into that imaginary pillow. And we'll just do one more. And then staying up, inhale to plant that foot, exhale to change. Okay, inhaling to lower the hips, exhaling to lift. Okay, keeping that feeling of the tailbone lengthening past the knees, that we're not gripping or clenching the muscles. Okay, making this smaller if you need to. Keeping the inner thighs hugged in. And we'll just do one more. And then inhale to land the foot. And exhale to roll back down. Good. And again, just shake your hips out. Good. Excellent work. Okay, so this next set of exercises is also for strengthening the glutes, but not just the glute max at the back, but also the muscles on the sides of the hips, the glute medius and minimus. And it's great for creating good muscle tone, not just in the side that we're moving, but also in the stabilizing side. Now, I'm going to show it using a chair, which I think is the most comfortable and most accessible. However, you could also do this exercise in the kneeling all fours position. So whichever you prefer. Okay, so we'll get into position, set up in your all fours, either using the chair or kneeling. You want to have your hands right underneath your shoulders, and you want to have the shoulder blades pulled apart so they stay nice and wide, not collapsed. However, I want you to let the elbows bend and stay relaxed so that they can be adaptable as we're moving through the exercise. And the abdominals are drawn in, so a feeling of pulling your navel in towards your spine. And this is called the hip square, so it has 4 steps. We're going to start off with the right leg, okay? You'll tuck your right knee in towards your chest. That's step 1. Then lift your right hip and knee up out to the side, like you're at the fire hydrant. That's step 2. Then the leg goes straight back, but we're still keeping that hip open. That's step 3. And then lower the hip and the leg down so we're back to level, and that's step 4. Okay, so we're tucking the knee into the chest. 1, lifting the hip and the knee out to the side. 2, going straight back with the hip still open. 3, lowering the hip and knee down to level. 4. Okay, we're going to exhale for steps 1 and 2. Inhale for steps 3 and 4. And we'll just do a couple more. Exhale to tuck, lift out to the side, inhale straight back and lower. And just continue keeping your shoulders down and wide, letting the elbows stay bent and adaptable. One more. Exhale, tuck and lift. Inhale straight back and lower. And then pause here. We're going to reverse the direction. So with the leg straight back, we're going to lift the hip up out to the side, tuck the knee in towards the shoulder, lower the hip and the knee down to level, and then bring the leg straight back. Okay? Exhaling to lift the hip, tuck the knee, inhaling to lower the hip and knee and go straight back. And continue. Exhaling to lift and tuck, inhaling to lower and straight back. And you can probably feel that this is working both sides of your hips, the leg that's moving and the leg that you're standing on. Okay, we'll do one more to this side. Exhaling as you open and tuck, inhaling to lower and go straight back. Okay, and then land the leg down. Just shake your hips out. Okay, so we're going to go to the other side. I'm going to move my chair so that we can see each other a little bit better. Okay, so we're in a good all fours position. The shoulder blades are pulled apart, but the elbows are relaxed. So you can feel the muscles on the sides of the ribs really working to support you. And then we'll start. You're exhaling as you tuck your left knee up into your chest. lift the hip and knee out to the side, and then inhale as the leg goes straight back, and then lower the hip and leg down. Okay, exhaling to tuck and lift, inhaling straight back and lowering to level. Exhaling to tuck and lift, inhaling, going straight back and lower. And just continue. The shoulder blades are staying wide apart. Okay, the navel is staying drawn in to support the lower back. Okay, we're going to do one more to this side. Exhaling as you tuck and lift. Inhaling straight back and lower. And then we'll reverse our direction. We lift the hip, tuck the knee in towards the shoulder, lower the hip and the knee down, and then the leg goes straight back. Exhaling to lift the hip and tuck. Inhaling to lower and go straight back. Exhaling to lift and tuck. Inhaling, lower, and going straight back. And just continue and keeping the navel in towards the spine, keeping the shoulders wide apart. Okay, and we'll do one more. And then finishing with the legs down. And again, just shake your hips out. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to take advantage of this chair that we've been using to do some really dynamic, fun strengthening for the hips. And if you didn't use a chair in the last set of exercises, you can use any ledge that's handy, a table, a countertop, even a wall will work. And if you can start off like I am, where the right hand is onto the ledge and the right leg is going to be your supporting side and the left leg is going to be our moving side. Okay, this sequence has 4 steps. Each step has something really dynamic to offer the hips. And so the first step is going to be left leg going back, reaching the left arm overhead in a kind of side lunge. Okay, breathing in here. And then breathing out as you're lifting the left knee up towards the elbow. They don't need to touch, but they're going towards each other. And then inhaling as you reach your left arm and leg away. Let that right elbow bend so the shoulders can be down, making a long line. And then exhaling as you come up, try to find your balance. And if you can, you're even going to twist your right elbow towards your knee. And then we'll start again. Okay? So inhaling as you stretch the left leg back, stretch your side. Exhaling, lifting the knee up towards the elbow. Inhaling as they stretch away from each other in a long line. Exhaling as you come up, find your balance, maybe even twisting. And we'll go a little faster. Inhaling to stretch. Exhaling to lift and tuck. Inhaling to lengthen away. Exhaling to come up and balance or twist. We'll do 2 more. Inhaling to stretch. Exhaling to tuck. Inhaling to reach away. Exhaling to come up to balance and twist. 1 more. Inhaling to stretch. Exhaling to tuck. Inhaling to reach away. Exhaling to come up and twist if you can. Okay, and relax. And we'll switch over to the other side. I'm going to move the chair over. You can probably feel that this is working not only the side that we're moving, but also the supporting side as well, especially in the side of the hip muscles, which is really great. Okay, so we're holding on with our left hand. The left leg is the supporting side. The right leg is back. And we're breathing in as we reach the right leg back and a long side stretch. Breathing out as you're lifting the knee up towards the elbow. Remember, they don't need to touch. Breathing in as you stretch the right arm and leg away. Letting the left shoulder come down, letting the left elbow bend. Exhaling to come up. Try to find your balance. And if you can even add a twist of the elbow to the knee. Inhaling to stretch. Exhaling to tuck. Inhaling to reach. Exhaling to balance and maybe twist. Inhaling to stretch. Exhaling to lift and tuck. Inhaling to reach. Exhaling to balance and maybe twist. Inhaling to stretch. Exhaling to lift. Inhaling long reach. Exhaling balance and twist. And we'll try for 2 more. Inhaling big stretch. Exhaling lifting. Inhaling, long reach. Exhaling to find your balance and maybe twist for your last one. Inhaling, stretch. Exhaling, lift. Inhale, reach. Exhaling, find your balance and twist and relax. Fantastic. All right, so this final set of hip strengthening exercises is for the inner and the outer thighs, as well as the internal and external rotators of the hip, which are really important for hip stability. It's going to be done in the side lying position. And so I really recommend that you have some padding for your bottom hip, like maybe a folded up towel or cushion, and also for something underneath your head and neck, again, like a pillow or rolled up towel. Okay, so we'll come into position. If you can line yourself up against the back of your mat so that you can feel your spine is lined up as straight as possible. Okay, you want to have your legs bent so that your heels are in line with your tailbone. So they're at about a 45-degree angle, not tucked in too tightly. Okay, make sure that your head feels comfortable. Draw the navel in so the lower back feels lengthened, and reach out through your top hip so that your bottom waist lifts a little bit away from the mat. And we're going to keep the hand on the hip for this first exercise so that you can feel the hips are staying stable as we work our internal and external rotators. Okay, so we're going to start off by lifting the top knee as high as you comfortably can without moving the hip. Lower it, and then lift the top foot as high as you comfortably can without moving the hip, and then lower it. Okay, and we're going to continue there. Exhaling knee and lower, inhaling foot and lower, and continue. Knee, inhale foot, exhale knee, inhale foot. Okay, and just continue and just work in your comfort zone. Okay, so that you can feel your pelvis is staying stable, your hip bones are staying stable. Okay, relax the head using whatever you need underneath your head so that your neck muscles can be free. And we'll do one more. Exhaling knee, inhaling foot. Now we're going to go twice as fast, going from knee directly to foot. Lifting the knee, lifting the foot. Exhaling for one, inhaling for one. Okay, working the internal and external movement of the hip, keeping the pelvis still. Okay, and we'll do two more. Exhaling for one, inhaling for one. Okay, we're going to finish with the knee up, and now we'll go into leg triangles. And so if you can bring the leg up straight. Now, when you do that, your bottom waist will sink a little bit towards the floor. That's fine. The leg is still rotated out, and it's going to be slightly in front of you. So it's not right up to the ceiling, out to the side. It's slightly in front. And then we're lowering the leg down in front, and then inhaling as it reaches back. And as it does, reach away with your top hip so that your waist lifts away from the floor again. And we start again. Exhale, bring the leg up. It naturally rotates and comes slightly forward. Bring it down. Inhaling as it lengthens away, lift the waist. Exhaling to lift, come forward. Inhaling to lengthen away. Exhaling to lift, come forward, inhaling to lengthen away. And for two more. Exhaling to lift, the waist sinks, lowers, and then inhaling it lifts for one more. Exhaling to lift, come forward, inhale, lengthen away, and then we'll reverse. Exhale as it comes forward, it lifts, inhaling it lengthens away, the waist lifts. Exhaling, come forward. The leg lifts, the waist sinks a little bit. Inhaling, reach it away, the waist lifts. Exhaling forward and up. Inhaling, lengthening away. Okay, exhaling forward and up. Inhaling, lengthening away for two more. Exhaling forward and up. Inhaling, lengthening away. And last one. You're just making sure your head and neck are as comfortable as possible. Okay, and then we're going to bring that leg down, just bend the knee, plant the foot on the floor, straighten your bottom leg out. We're going to work the inner thighs on the bottom leg. You can stay down on your side like this. I'm going to come up onto my forearm. It feels more comfortable for me, but whichever you prefer is fine. And if you're here, just let the shoulder relax. Okay, we're not going to push the forearm into the mat and lift the waist away from the floor really strongly, like we might do. It just restricts the movement too much. We're going to let this relax down. The hips are rotated a little bit up towards the ceiling, so we're not perfectly stacked up anymore. Okay, and then all we're doing, really simple, is we lift your bottom leg up to its maximum height. The leg is straight, it's rotated out, and then lower halfway down. Just that. Lift and lower. Exhaling for one, inhaling for one. So we can breathe slowly and calmly. Okay, and then just staying with this, your top leg can stay bent with the foot on the floor. That's fine. Or you can bring the top leg up, bending the knee and just holding on underneath the knee. Or if you want to work more of your flexibility in your legs, you can bring that top leg up and hold onto the heel, and it can be straight. Okay, so any of those options are fine. Okay, then we're going to have the bottom leg up to its maximum height and do little pulses. Breathing in for 2 pulses, breathing out for 2 pulses. And just continue. Okay, the leg is staying straight. It's working at its maximum height. And again, your top leg could stay straight like this. You could bend it, hold underneath the knee. You could have it planted onto the floor. Any of those positions are fine. It doesn't matter. It's really the bottom leg that is our focus. Just taking one more breath here, and then hold the leg up and relax. Okay, and so we're going to do this all to the other side. I'll get you to turn around so that we can face each other. And if you can line yourself up so that you're against the back of your mat so you can feel your spine is stacked up. And then having the legs bent at about 45 degrees, your heels in line with your tailbone, your navel in, the top hip lengthening, and we'll just keep our hand here for these first set of exercises, and we'll start with the rotation. Lifting the knee and lowering, and then lifting the foot and lowering. Exhaling knee, inhaling foot, and continue. Moving in the range where you can keep the hips still. Okay, making sure that your head and neck are comfortable. Okay, always using padding underneath your bottom hip if you need to, right? Okay, breathing smoothly for one more. And we're going to go twice as fast. Knee and foot, going directly from knee to foot. Inhaling for one, exhaling for one, and continue. And just working that rotation. This movement is really important to be able to have stability and mobility in our hips. Okay, keeping the shoulders relaxed, keeping the necks relaxed for 2 more. And we're going to finish with the knee up. Okay, from here, the triangle. We exhale as you bring the leg up. It's naturally rotated out. It's naturally coming forward. The waist sinks slightly, bringing it forward. Inhale, reach away with your top hip so the waist lifts again. Exhaling to lift, come forward. Inhale, lengthen away. Exhaling, lift and rotate, come forward. Inhale, lengthen away. Exhaling, lift, come forward. Inhale, lengthen away, and continue. Again, making sure that you're keeping the head as relaxed as possible, so that you're keeping the navel in for one more this way. Exhaling, lift, come forward. Inhale, lengthen away, and then reverse. We exhale, come forward, lift the leg up. Again, the waist will sink slightly, and then you lengthen the leg away, letting the waist lift. Exhaling forward and up. Inhaling, lengthening away. Exhaling forward and up. Inhaling, lengthening away. And continue. Just moving in your comfort zone where you can keep the navel in. You can keep the hips relatively still. And we'll do 2 more. You can keep the neck and shoulders as relaxed as possible. Okay, for 1 more. Good. And then bend your top leg, plant the foot onto the floor, straighten the bottom leg out, and staying here or coming up onto your forearm. Both are fine. Okay, again, if you're on your forearm, letting the shoulder relax, so you're letting the waist sink down. The hips are turning slightly, so they're more towards the ceiling. They're not totally stacked. The navel is still drawn in. The leg is straight, it's turned out. You're lifting the leg up to its maximum and lowering halfway down. Little pulses. Okay. Exhaling for 1, inhaling for 1. Okay, really simple. Okay, keeping the legs straight so that we can work the inner thigh as much as possible. And then staying with this, or you can bend your top leg and hold on underneath the knee if you like. Okay, or you can straighten your top leg and hold on to the ankle. Okay, so as you like. Okay, using padding underneath your bottom hip if you need. Making sure that you can breathe fully and easily with whichever option that you're doing. Okay, and 1 more. And then hold at the top. Do little pulses up, staying right at the top. Inhaling for 2. Exhaling for 2. Inhaling for 2. Exhaling for 2. And continue. Remember, this top leg can be straight. It could be bent and you're holding on underneath the knee, or it could be planted onto the floor. Okay, all of that is fine. And just taking 1 more breath here and hold it and relax. Okay, and then we'll do just a few quick hip stretches just so that we're not leaving the muscles really tense. However, I do really recommend going to the tutorial for how to open the hips to get a wide variety of hip stretches that will really balance everything out. Okay, so we'll just start off in the bound angle position, sometimes called the butterfly position. And if you can stay here and just breathe slowly and fully, letting the hips relax. Good. Having the image that the breath is really traveling to the muscles in the inner thighs. So as you breathe in, the muscles can really receive good cleansing oxygen. And as you're breathing out, they're releasing tension. Okay, as you're breathing here, just letting the hips soften, making sure your head and your neck feel comfortable. For 1 more breath. And then gently close the knees and we'll stretch out the glutes. And so if you can cross your right ankle over your left knee and letting the knee open. Staying here with your feet onto the floor, or you could have some pressure of your right hand onto the thigh, not on the knee. Okay, this is stretching out the deep rotators as well as the glutes. So this is a great stretch to do if you do find that you have any compression of the nerves or the blood vessels from your hips running down into your legs. Okay, if you want to take it further, you could bring the legs into the air, thread your right hand into the space between the legs, and hold on behind the thigh or onto the shin. Okay, that's your choice. Just making sure the tailbone is staying down onto the mat, the shoulders are staying down, and the chin is in, that the back of the neck feels long and comfortable. Okay, breathing here. Again, just with the feeling of breathing in, sending the breath to the glutes, and breathing out, letting them soften and release tension. For 1 more breath. And then we'll switch over to the other side. Cross your left ankle over your right knee. Okay, staying here with the feet onto the floor. Or bringing your left hand onto the thigh with just gentle pressure out, not on the knee. And if you want to take it further, you can bring the legs into the air, thread your left hand into the space between the legs, holding on behind the knee or onto the shin. Any of those positions are great. Okay, and then just breathing here, making sure your tailbone is staying onto the mat. Your shoulders are staying down, the back of the neck is staying long. And letting the glutes relax, breathing in, letting them receive the inhale and release tension on the exhale. And really letting your whole body receive these cleansing breaths, especially after all the fantastic work we've done together. Taking your last breath here and relax. Wonderful. So thank you for working out with me. We did a lot of fantastic strengthening for the hips. I'm sure you can feel it. Now, if you did find this how-to useful, I invite you to give it a like, to subscribe to my channel, and to share it with those whom you think might benefit. Now, in the description, you'll see a link to the Fully Embodied Fitness Workout Series, which is a series of workouts that I've designed to improve and increase strength, especially core strength, flexibility, balance, posture, coordination, and overall body connection. There's tons of fantastic exercises for lengthening and strengthening the hips, the core, the back, the shoulders and arms, and so much more. And so if feeling more fully embodied sounds interesting to you, I invite you to check that out. Until the next time, as always, I'm wishing you well. Take good care.